Yo, what's going on, guys? The day has finally come. I'm going to be running 2 sets of outlet boxes behind here so I can use my govee smart plugs for my AI rigs on my new shelf that I just installed right there. So what is the plan here? I'm going to use a 2x4 to brace between that and that so I have something to mount my outlets on, and then I'm going to run my 2 strands of 14-2 Romex down, around, over the top of the garage, and then down into my circuit panel here. This will be my first time installing breakers, so I'm a bit nervous, but looking online, it looks pretty easy. So hopefully we'll be okay. I've got this convenient little hatch right here with 2 screws that allows me to get in through the top, so that should be easy enough. We'll get those 2 breakers installed, and then what I'm gonna do first is go ahead and put that wood up and then start wiring our little brackets and stuff right here. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. So like I mentioned, get a vertical 2x4, and then it looks like we'll actually have to stack 2 on top of each other so that I can mount this outlet box like that. And we'll have it like this so I can have 1 plug here and 1 plug here, and we'll have a bunch of power to be able to utilize. So I want to get this into a stud, and it sounds like there's one right here, so this is where I'm going to put it in. I just need to measure how long this board needs to be, and I guess I don't even need to do it all the way down. It just needs to be right here so I can mount those on there. So honestly, I'm just going to cut them probably a foot long each. We'll put in like 2 to 3 screws, and then we should be good to go. I'm just going to use this scrap of wood that I used just a second ago and just cut another one to this size, and we'll use that as our marker. Okay, we'll go ahead and put the first one in, and then we'll just screw the second one into that. Definitely a stud there, that's not going anywhere. Okay, let me test fit my box. That's gonna work just fine. Even have room for a 3rd or 4th if we ever want it. Nice. All right, I think the next step here is just gonna be to roughly lay out how much Romex we need. I probably won't pin it up just yet. I'll wait till I have both strands run so I can pin it up at the same time. So let's go ahead and get a bunch of this out. All right, definitely make sure we've got enough there. Then we will just start running this. Now my plan here will be, if I ever move houses, I'm gonna take these outlets out because they won't necessarily be to code, and therefore I will just take them out if I ever move. Definitely wanna make sure I have enough, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it right here, and then we'll run our other strand back. This is gonna work out good. I've had this Romex sitting around for a long time, and it's looking like it's gonna be the exact perfect amount. It is. All right, nice. Okay, before I start tying anything in, I'm gonna close the garage and make sure I have a good path to wire this through up here, and I'll do that right now before I secure one end in. So I'm just gonna go above the little, or it's hard to see, but I'm just gonna go through that little hole right there. And then we should be perfectly fine. Gonna be an electrician for the day. Okay, that should be plenty long. Left myself a little too much slack, but that's all right. I'd rather have too much than not enough. All right, I guess I am gonna go ahead and nail this down now so I can use my garage and not be scared of that getting caught or anything. I'm just using these little, what are they called? Cable staples, 1/2 inch. And if it's not obvious already, I'm not a licensed electrician, so take everything I'm doing with a grain of salt and do your own research. All right, so far so good. Some of them going easy, some of them not so much. Okay, we've got our spare right here for the circuit panel. Go ahead and hit the garage. Up and over. And then they come down right here, secured there, ready for our outlet boxes. About 5 foot extra on each one, so I'll have to go to the scrap yard, but other than that, looks good. It's been a long while since I wired an outlet, so I'm gonna watch a YouTube video real quick and then mount those up. I'll just show you guys when it's finished. I'm gonna be tucked back in this extremely hot corner. I don't wanna really set up the camera back there, so turn on my little janky overhead light here, and I'll get to work. Should see a total of 8 outlets when I'm finished. All right, I actually changed my mind. I'm gonna quickly show you guys how I'm gonna do this. So I need to make 2 sets of basically jumper wires, and I'm gonna make them about this long. So I cut off some of my extra here. So I need to get a something to strip these now, unless I can just pull them straight out. There we go, I can just pull them out. Take the paper off. So basically what I'm gonna do is the ground that's coming out of the wall, twist that with these 2, and then these 2 will connect to the 2 sockets that are in this box. Same thing with the neutrals, twist these 2 together with the one that's coming out of the box, and then put that on these 2, and same with the blacks. So that should work just fine. So I can go ahead and strip these so I have something to put the wire nut on. Oops, that one was a little long. I'm just gonna cut a chunk off there. There we go. All right, now I need to make one more set of these. All right, got my wires. Let's go make some jumpers. Should probably go ahead and install my boxes first. Excuse the tank top, it's way too hot to be wearing a normal shirt. All right, let's get these boxes installed. I'll do one relatively high, and then the other one will be below that. Now I need to pop open a hole here, feed some wires in. Leave a little extra up here just in case. Okay, so now we're gonna take our 2 blacks with this black and twist these, and I actually have a little drill attachment that I wanna use for the first time. Okay, sorry guys, I just saw that all those clips of me putting the outlet are zooming in and out, and also didn't have my mic plugged in. But there we go, that looks super, super clean. Let me put the covers on, and then we will be all wrapped up here, and we're gonna have a ton more power. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be doing the breaker another day, but it'll just be like 2 minutes for you guys. It's too hot today, and while I have a job in my 4090, I do not want to turn it off. So we'll leave it for now. Let me get the covers on and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow when these are all hooked up, and then we'll get some govee smart meters on here and start powering some mining rigs. I mean, that looks pretty dang clean, if I must say. All right, it's a new day. My salad rigs all still 4.5 jobs, but I'm basically just gonna go ahead and flip the power. I wanna get this done and over with into their permanent spots, so then I can just leave them and not have to keep thinking about this. So I need to do a few things here. I need to get these somehow wired into the wall. So notice these cables are holed in, drilled through a 2x4 and then down into here. This panel right here is removable. So I think what I'm gonna do is just cut a little notch out of this top right here so I can skip the 2x4 that's right here. I don't wanna have to drill through that. So I'm just gonna go straight directly in right here, and then I'll be able to pull out this insulation and get in here. I am gonna go ahead and take off this panel right here. So let's do that first. We'll get the panel taken off. Actually, I'll go ahead and take this off and cut my notch into it, make sure everything's gonna work okay there, and then we'll go ahead and take this off and I'll flip my main breaker and we'll put in the two breakers. So my thought with notching the top is I'll be able to replace this as often as I want, take it off, put it back on without interfering with those cables. But there is a bunch of cables coming down right here, so I definitely do not want to notch it on the wall. I'm gonna notch it kind of over at my desk over there. Now, just for reference here, so I am gonna need to both notch this and then cut something out of this drywall right here, kind of mark it a little bit. Now, if I pull out this insulation, now we should see all of those wires that are coming into my panel from my old house. And I'm gonna have to notch it pretty low because it looks like there's a 2x4 that's like coming right here. So, that's making me think I probably do just need to suck it up and drill a hole through this board so that I can come in from over here. So the plan will be to drill a hole right here, bring the cables in through this 2x4 and then down into the panel right there. I would go ahead and do that first, but I'm waiting for my wife to use the oven. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the panel cover off first. All right, not too shabby. One thing that's interesting here is from the YouTube videos I've watched, mine is actually on the bottom, which is honestly nicer. I feel a lot more comfortable working up top here, getting cables in and stuff when I don't have the main lines up here, because the main lines will still be live even when I flip that off. So honestly, it should be pretty safe up there with all the main lines coming in much down here. So I'll need to pop out a couple of these little holes. I've got the little cable holders to hold the cable secure, and I'll probably put a breaker on each side because I'm pretty sure you're supposed to balance this the best you can. Or let's see if I can figure out which one my crypto miner is on, my 30 amp circuit. I might do both of these on the opposite of that, and I think that is this one right here maybe. So I might just put them both on this side to balance that load out. So the good news is it appears that Salad has an update, which is basically perfect timing for me to go ahead and update all of these, and then I'll start getting them on the shelf while I wait for my wife's oven to finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit update here, and then we'll start moving all of these onto the shelf here, and then we will finally be ready to plug in our outlets, and then we'll get all of our smart monitors plugged into our new circuit so we can have direct wattage measuring on all 4 of the rigs. And to do that, I'm going to be using 2 of these little extension cords that go to the 3-prong because it fits 2. So I've got 4 salad rigs. They'll each go into one of those. The other one of those I think is somewhere down here in my hidden little stash, maybe up top right there or left. Well, I can't actually find my other cord that's like that, my heavy gauge extension cord. So I may need to buy another one of those. But one other thing I forgot to mention is I've got a nice pack of HDMI cables. So once all 4 rigs are up there, and I guess it's only 3 right now because this one will be staying here, I can plug all of them into my KVM right here and use this one monitor to do all of them. So this one is updated. We can go ahead and turn this off. There we go. And then I need to go ahead and pull this DisplayPort cable and plug that into this one and update this one. And I got to get my mouse dongle as well. You can see why I want to get all this standardized, because it's a lot of switching keyboards, switching ports, switching monitors, which is a bit annoying. So now I should be able to click this. Let's go ahead and install on this one as well, and then I'll knock out those 2. Probably lay them out like this so that I can see the GPUs and know when they're actually running or not. That'll be pretty cool. I probably should put the 4090 rig, since it overhangs so much, I'll probably put it on this far right side. Works pretty good. So it's looking like I may only be able to fit 3 of them up here, realistically, when I get them spaced out for the cables and stuff. Now, the one thing with this setup, since this is not a USB KVM, I have to plug in this dongle when I want to control each one. I do have little USB extenders so that I can hang these down on each rig and be able to just quickly plug in the USB dongle to each one. So this one is updated on Salad now too. You can see right there. Let's move it up, and then that'll be it for right now. We'll keep those 3 rigs up there. And I guess, well, I was gonna say good news is I don't have to stop this one, but I'm about to throw the power switch for this whole, so it's getting stopped anyway. This one I've got to replace the HDMI. This one's not gonna be long enough for that top shelf. One thing I forgot to mention is I also have a switch up top here to quickly plug into all 3 of these. And this is what I mean by each one of them will have a little dongle right here to quickly be able to plug in that keyboard and mouse guide for each of them. And now we'll start plugging in our 3 HDMI cables. These will all run behind into the switch. And then my USB dongles, these I can plug in from right here. Okay, so we've got 1 HDMI coming in to the main PC, and we will have 3 more coming in, and I'll have these oriented so that it's obviously from left to right which one goes to which.
I need to go ahead and feed these back through there.
Okay, that worked out good. This is all set up to basically be plugged in now, and the wife just took off with the food. One of our friends just had a baby, so she's bringing food over to them. And it means for us, it's time to flip this breaker, the main one, drill that hole, and let's get these wires in and these breakers wired up. I'm pretty excited. I've never done this before. Seems relatively easy off of YouTube, so let's do it. Okay, here we go. Breaker's off. I'm realizing now I probably should have brought the wires through that way. It's going to be kind of a bitch to fish them through this little hole. Yeah, I think I should be able to get them through there. Just put a little bit of a turn on it. If I get my pliers, I can grab that. Before I get that one too far in, I'll try to get the other one. Nice. Nice and easy. I was planning on popping 2 holes out, but it does look like I can fit 2 wires through one. It looks like sometimes they're doing 3 wires in one. So I'm just gonna do that. All right, now I just need to tighten these down and we should be secured. While I'm at it, I'm just gonna blow all the shit out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these much shorter for now. And then I need to strip the sheathing off all the way up to the top. It's crazy how much a sharp knife helps for this. I guess I can go ahead and cut these much shorter because I don't want this dipping down and touching that main that's still on. All right, far from pretty compared to the rest of the box, but it is all hooked up correctly. So time to flip this thing on. Hopefully nothing blows up. A lot of shit turning back on over here. Need to turn these GPU rigs off. Let's take our multimeter here, plug this into our outlets, and see if everything's working properly. I don't know if that should be reading something or not. Let's try our fan. All right, I had to flip that breaker off and then back on. I really started second guessing myself there. Let's see if this works now. Nice, that one works. And that one works too. Cool, all right, well, let's go ahead and plug in our rigs and get everything back together. And then we will be good to go with a lot more power capacity back here. That is amazing to have. And it does feel good to have that done. I've been kind of stressing over that for a while. It's funny, when you do new stuff, you always stress about it harder, but once you're finished, very happy to have it over with, and it shouldn't be that bad to ever do it again if I have to. Okay, good as new. Now I just got to clean. All right, I'm going to give you guys one quick look at the setup now. So 2 govee plugs are going into 2 of the salad rigs, right here and right here. And then this salad rig and that salad rig are going into these 2 govee plugs. So let's go ahead and flip on all the on switches of these rigs. And they should all be able to KVM into here. Nice. All right, well, I'm gonna mess around with this, hook up salad, get everything running again. Thanks as always for watching, guys. My next video will be a breakdown of the 4090. Was it worth getting? Is it worth buying one for salad, or should you just focus on 3070 rigs? A lot more of that to come. Thanks for watching.